I think we saw what's happening around in Europe. I mean, we're in the middle, in the heart of Europe. Switzerland, surrounded by France, Italy, Austria, Germany. Um, we're looking at those countries. We saw what happened over the years. We felt it ourselves. I mean, our borders are more closed than others. Reason being, we're not part of the European Union. We're still in the Schengen. But border controls are a little bit more controlling. Let's put it like this. In any case, like in Switzerland, we have a decentralized government and a direct democracy. So a lot of citizens were worried about that and how it works in Switzerland. If you have a feeling something needs to be changed there, you want to change a law or like have a referendum, you just simply go on the street, you collect 100,000 signatures for your initiative, and that happened over the last months. And this new initiative is called No 10 Million Switzerland. Mm-hmm. And this referendum is up for vote on the 14th of June. The key mechanics of this vote are that the population should be capped at 10 million by 2050. As a background, like we say, like if the population grows like this by 2040, we're already at 9.5 million. Currently, the population is around 8.9 million. For you to understand, we have a really small country. Like it's 200 by 300 kilometers. It's actually from here, from Montreal to Quebec, back and forth. That's it. And 75% of the country is mountains. So 70 to 75%. That means everyone lives on the 30% of the land, which is 9 to 10 million people shortly. So it raised some concerns. And the key mechanics of this initiatives are that the government will implement measures to immigration quotas, restrictions on family reunifications, as well as tighter asylum rules. So this is just a key factor in order to keep the constant growth of the population in a decent rate. Yeah, we know that Switzerland, the most part of the population growth is coming from immigration at the moment, rather than natural births. And the current trends continue. The country, as I said, would reach 40 or 10 million inhabitants by 2050. So given that, the referendum is held in June, and we see that 47% of all voters already saying yes, they want a cap at 10 million, with a lot of measurements hitting once the 9.5 million mark is reached. 41% are actually against it, and like the balance is at the moment undecided where that will go. And it's a big political debate at the moment because we're still tied to the European Union. We have still laws in place which let Switzerland not be 100% independent from the European Union, because we're included in trade in so many aspects of life, which brings a risky referendum here. But if people will vote for it, it will be accepted. It will be accepted. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Christian, I got a quick question for you. I'm not sure if you know or not. So, in terms of the immigration into Switzerland, what's the demographic of the people that want to or have been entering Switzerland? Is it from the European Union countries, or is it from abroad?
Mostly European Union, because the immigration rules for European Union people in the European Union is quite easy. I mean, for a Canadian to come to Switzerland, like they're implemented rules that if you, like for every, let's say like Switzerland has a strong partnership with the European Union. So for someone from the European Union to immigrate into Switzerland might be easier than someone from a from another country like Canada or the US or whatever. Yeah.
I see. So it's an overall cap at 10 million. It doesn't.
It's in
an area.
it is a cap at 10 million, but measurements would start applying at when we reach the 9.5 million, which is expected by 2040. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons, because we know that the Swiss economy is mainly driven by expats or by immigrants. Switzerland needs immigration in order to keep the economy running. But we're now at the point, and this is where you see the frustration within the population. It's getting really overcrowded. It's not that we don't want to take more people in, but the whole infrastructure is not built on hosting more people. Like I saw yesterday, I read an article. There is a 1-bedroom apartment in Zurich is now rented out at almost 3,000 Canadian, which is for 10 square meters. I don't know what much is in square foot, but basically you could barely even put a bed into the room, and that's it. Like housing prices going through the roof. The Swiss franc is getting really strong, but also costs are getting really, really high. We're one of the most expensive countries in Europe, and this drives it if more people are also coming into our country. Like, it's not getting better on the housing market as well.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's essentially what happened with the Trudeau era immigration program, in the fact that drove our housing crisis.
Yes.
And we all know what happened there. Now it's turning around, because our population growth last year was 0, and it's projected at 0 again this year. And then the main reason is that Canadians aren't having families like we once did, number one. And number two, immigration has been cut back significantly.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, we're at a 0 limit. Housing has dropped in pricing. The markets have really tanked in most major centers across the country. Condo market in particular, especially in Toronto, has really taken a dive. And a lot of people who bought, yes, they had very low interest rates at the time, but they also got into bidding wars and overpaid. And now they're sitting there and they're having a tough time renewing their mortgages, because the value of the house has dropped way down. So again, it was like, let's open the doors and let them all come in, but we didn't have the infrastructure to handle it. Yeah.
I mean, it will, in our case, it will not restrict others. We will not stop immigration. We will just limit it. That's the thing. Like, it will be a little bit more selective, and it will still trigger a big debate and negotiations with the European Union, because Switzerland we call it the guillotine clause. That means the U.S.-Switzerland bilateral agreements include a clause of free movement, of persons, and if this one of those agreements in this the guillotine clause says, if one of those agreements between the European Union and Switzerland is violated, then it terminates all other agreements in terms of trade, transport, research cooperation, defense, everything else. So it will be a big debate, but we have the feeling, even though it seems to be like 48-41 undecided, that this thing will go through, because we cannot bear higher costs anymore. Yeah, it's not possible. It's not possible anymore.
Gary, just quickly, my last question for the night. Do you think that, okay, fine, we didn't have any population growth last year, we don't expect any this year, and with the government continuing to push a drop in basically closing the barn doors, do you think our infrastructure is ever going to catch up? That's all. That,
Well,
you'd like to think so, but
you would like to think so, but
Yeah.
then as the demand is, when you're talking in the ground infrastructure provided by municipalities and power and things like that, that they'll start cutting back on whatever expansion plans they have, upgrading plans, and those sorts of things. There does not seem to be a balance. If it is hit, it doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
So, and especially, well, the only thing is, Eddie, right now, we have a major house building program underway by the federal government in conjunction with the provincial governments, affordable housing. I haven't seen a whole lot of projects, though, with shovels in the ground. Maybe I've missed the news releases. I don't know. But it's on the books. And then you have, even look around here. We have that new 400 and some odd unit building across the street.
Yeah.
And they started accepting people in before Christmas. And it's, there are a few lights on here and there, but, there's a lot of empty units over there that I think it's going to take them a while to fill, because now when you look at some of the ads, a lot of these new developments are running 2 months free rent. And they're offering 6 months of free parking and all kinds of different incentives to come in. And that tells me that they're, between the private investor buying a couple of condos in a condo building and the big development companies, they've saturated the market. And right now, the demand is not there. So it's always a balancing act. And I don't know, there's a couple of very interesting comments, and I just want to bring them up because they really kind of line up here. Where do we start? Look at this one. 75% of Canada is completely uninhabitable. We've maximized every square inch. Canada only has enough infrastructure for 32 million people, not 44 million. And we're right around 40 million now, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, we speak about infrastructure. You're talking about hard infrastructure. What about the net? What about our social nets, right? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
Healthcare, education, social services. Just like Russia can't support more than 120 million, Canada can't support more than 30 to 35 million. Canada is, get it in here. There we go. Canada is an Arctic country with only one growing season. And
interesting
that reminds me of the ad last year with Carney. Our soil is highly acidic, shallow, and the tundra constantly shifts. Building infrastructure on tundra is impossible. It's like building on a mudslide that freezes and constantly shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing grows outside of what's been developed. We've maximized every inch of visible or viable farmland and ranch land. Canada needs more deportations. Okay, now we're going down a different road. Building infrastructure is extremely expensive and takes decades. Canada is broke. Arctic engineers have all left to work elsewhere. I wonder where they would go. And Arctic engineering is extremely difficult. Sorry, but Africans and Indians can't do it. No, because they have absolutely no
expertise.
No expertise in that kind of thing at all. So where would they be going?
Thanks for those contributions. That was interesting.
It was. And, as you're reading down through it, making some sense overall for sure. So here, a couple of very quick questions, and we'll just take a very quick round. Can direct democracy produce restrictive outcomes?
Yes. We see it in Switzerland.
Yeah, you were telling me one night that every time you turn around, you're having a referendum, even at the local level.
Sorry, I had a bad line.
I said you were telling me the one night that every time you turn around in Switzerland, you have a referendum, even at the local level, for any kind of a decision.
Oh yeah, like there's direct democracy even on the municipality level. Like we're voting for everything. Like it was not a joke when I said like 2018, 19, when I moved to my new municipality, we were even voting for the color of our garbage bags, like in this in this municipality. So everything is voted, and when the people vote, then this will be directly like implemented. That's why we don't have like really one president. We don't have like we have like a decentralized government. There's 7 representatives who represent the people, not themselves, and they have to represent the decision of the Swiss people. They're just a representing organ to the outside of Switzerland. So it's direct democracy. If we want a new law, we're going to vote.
Gary, you know what? Out of the box thinking, maybe something this side of the world can learn from. I don't know. To me, it sounds rather appealing. And you're looking at what some of our provinces want to do is have greater autonomy, and the people want to be heard much more than they feel like they're being heard. Forget about being heard from Ottawa, being heard from
yourself.
From yourself. Yeah. You know what, Christian? I think we should put you on the programs of every major provincial media outlet, and you can talk to them about this wonderful idea that you guys are seems to be successfully running out there. I'm sure there are pitfalls.
It is very successful in Switzerland. Like that's why we feel as people, we feel heard,
empowered.
Empowered. We're powered. Like as the same with this Swiss referendum now in June. Like you get some signatures, you give it to the government, and then you're up for vote, and that's it. And if it goes through, if the majority votes for it, it's the law. Is no way around. But you also have to see it from that perspective. We're 8.9 million people, not 40 million. We're voting every 3 months. Like you can do it in a small country. We're 200 by 300 kilometers. Like Switzerland fits into Canada. Like I think I read over 120 times, like from the size of the country. Mm-hmm. So this is a complete different approach. Like in Germany, it's different. Like it works for a small country. I'm not a politic expert, but I'm not sure if we could implement it to other countries. But we see that if you give the people the vote, Swiss people are really happy in general. It's not only the economy. Like you feel heard. You can change something. You have the feeling you can change, and we change.
Interesting.
And that answers the question right there. So let's go back, because we have one more comment that we can squeeze in from the Republic of Alberta, W5P. Better to have too much direct democracy than not enough. Canadians have no say in anything.
I agree.
I think that that's a great way to wrap up the segment.